Jazz, we must transform and go get Shockwave. That's on my way, Prime. I'll meet you there. You know what, Prime? On second thought, I've been seeing you. There's way too many of those mofos for me to even think about. Later. Hello everyone, this is Optimus0420SL, and as you can see by all these lovely Shockwaves standing by, they're waiting for the induction of their brother, FoC Cybertron Shockwave. But we have a two-parter in this review. I will also be reviewing FoC Cybertron Jazz. Both of these guys are awesome figures, and out of the trifecta of the first three, which is including this bozo. Okay. Both of these guys are very, very much better. Now, first thing you notice right away is Shockwave just looks awesome. His vehicle mode is great. It's very, very, very game accurate. And even though they painted him up, he could use a little more detailing, but he is great. And we have Jazz here. Now, Jazz looks awesome in this mode. I wish he had more paint. But again, you know, that seems to be the problem with all this FoC Cybertron figures at the moment. So we're going to start with Jazz, since these guys are all prisoners to the logical one. Take off the gun. Open the hands in the back. And you're going to separate so that the arms look like they're flying, and you're going to lock them up by the front tire. I know it tells you to do that pretty much last. I do it first. Open the legs, filled out the feet, and here's where the fun comes in. Fold him up like an accordion till his head pops out, and push up to hide that girly chest, and Jazz is now complete. Now, one thing you're going to notice about Jazz already, okay, if you haven't seen it yet, he doesn't really have a lot of paint apps in robot mode. Okay. Now granted, Jazz is a blue and white robot to begin with. Put the gun in his hand here. He's got his traditional pistol, which I like. I wish he had the cannon. But you'll see there's really not a lot of paint to him. Now if you look at his face, he's got a good head going. He's got the visor. So obviously there's no light piping. Okay? He's got the visor. You know, the chest area looks good. Bright all about symbol. You know, the headlights look good and blue. He's got a modern car grill, even though he's supposed to be in Cybertronian mode. But he looks pretty good. He definitely looks better than him. You know, I don't know if it's just me, but the colors work well. You know, Jazz is actually the same height as Prime. I've already come to the conclusion that these guys are shorter than Deluxes of previous years. You know, you can thank Hasbro for that. Hasbro's infamous. Now, for the gravy. This is Shockwave. And he has not had a toy in many years. Yes, he's had incarnations. Now, if you look in the back, okay, you have the movie Shockwave. He came out, you know, last year. But he's not really Generation 1 Shockwave. He's more of Skeletor got butt raped by some Power Ranger creep, and there you go. I like him though. He does look cool. So, you know, keep raping Skeletor, folks. Alright, you know, there's one of the originals. It's the Radio Shack version of Shockwave. That is the alternator Shockwave. Now, America also released him, and he was released as Shock Blast. Now, if you go to Japan, Shock Blast is Shockwave. And, of course, you have the original Gen 1 Shockwave. The only one I forgot to put out was my Action Master, because I really didn't like him. Now, to transform this lovely, beautiful ship into Shockwave, first thing you want to do, split up here at the front. And you'll see that the gun, if you lift here, is hanging on a peg. Take that off. Okay? I always start with the feet first with him because it gets kind of tricky if you don't fold down the feet. You see this panel on the side here that was part of the ship edge folds into the side. Same here. Okay. Now, before you do anything with the upper area, move the arms and fold the wings pretty much at the same time. Otherwise, they get in each other's way. And you'll hear it snap when it opens. Now, with this, you're just going to pop, and you'll see the head pops up already. And then we shall lock the arms in place, twist and drop. Lock the arms in place, twist and drop. And for his hands, if you see, there is a little lever that we have to pull. Alright. Now, while the camera is off for that split second, yes, I actually know how to turn off equipment. Ha ha! Okay. I decided to bring in some of the War for Cybertron figures, in fact, pretty much all of them, so you guys can see firsthand that these guys are a head smaller than the previous year's deluxes. So, as you can see, you know, it's kind of scary when Bumblebee and Cliffjumper are actually bigger than Jazz, when Jazz was taller than both of them in G1. But, you know, and Shockwave was definitely taller than Soundwave, and here he's small in comparison. You know, but overall, let's get into articulation. With Shockwave, he's got 360-degree arms, but the fin does get in the way, so you have to be careful. Okay? With his legs, he's also got a ball joint, so he can do Johnny 5 splits and, you know, anything that he feels is logical. His knees are bendable. He's got no real foot articulation. That's pretty much just the front bends for transformation. And now that we're done looking at my lovely tablecloth, you know, head is 360, but it's not really on a ball joint, as you can see. So he's not looking up and down because the head gets pushed in and out for transformation. Okay, now let's take a look at their prisoner. Okay, Jazz here has the split, same thing. And he's got a ball jointed legs. His knees are very articulated and they have a lock to them, which I kind of like. 360 degree on the arms, even though they're kind of loose. He's got, you know, decent elbow. Wrist articulation only for transformation. Okay. The head is 360, but it's kind of hard to get to because of the backpack. And you got to make sure the chest stays on as it likes to pop out. Like, you know. But I do like Jazz. I like Jazz a lot. Now, let me line up these three. because unfortunately this guy, I do like him, it's just he's not as good. Okay. These are the 3 launch figures for the Fall Cybertron figures and the rebirth of the Generations line in America. Out of all 3, I am sorry to say Shockwave is the best one. I'm only sorry because Optimus is my favorite character. I love Shockwave's premise though, living off of pure logic and must wipe us all out. We get it. Okay, Jazz, he looks better than Prime. I do like Jazz better in this mold better than Prime. You know, I just wish they all had more paint. Be right back on what I think you should all do with these figures. Everyone, this is Optimus 0420 SL, and my critique of these figures, are they worth buying? I give it a solid yes, and I'm not just saying that for those 2, even this big, beefy, underpainted version of Prime 2. Okay, they are good figures, okay, very well articulated, very well thought out. It's just Hasbro going chintzy with the paint. Out of all 3, Shockwave is by far the best representation. He looks awesome. Look at those eyes, man. The light piping and everything is just banging. It looks really good on him. And as you can see, the light piping is right there. And as you can see from the back of my computer, he is being lit up pretty good. His chest area is pretty good too. Very reminiscent of his G1 counterpart. Very reminiscent. I like it. Jazz, he's got his G1 head back for the most part. But, you know, like Optimus, he suffers from a few paint apps. Could use some blues up here. You know, maybe some, like, you know, you're fighting to get off your planet. Some battle damage would have been nice. You know, something. But Jazz looks good, and he's pure white and pristine, but he looks really good. If you're going to buy him, make sure you're in a smoke-free house, because he will turn yellow real quick. Okay, so definitely get these guys if you can get them. This is Optimus 0420, signing out. Peace, y'all.